Hello, I'm Janet from LAPIS.
And I'm Paul from LAPIS. LAPIS Explorers is not a new concept, but documenting it on YouTube is, so please bear with us while we get used to it. Please comment on the video with any bits you particularly like or dislike, but also give us a thumbs up for trying, and subscribe if you want to see more of us making fools of ourselves. This video covers a weekend in April 2021 where we visit the area around Ribble Head with the intention of testing our skills and equipment for wild camping.
LAPIS Explorers isn't just about the paranormal, although we often take the opportunity to visit locations of past UFO events, supposedly haunted buildings and just plain spooky locations. Sometimes the Explorer is about us as humans, exploring the limits of our comfort zone and putting ourselves into unusual situations to see if we observe or react differently when things aren't normal. We think it's all in the spirit of paranormal investigation, perhaps just from an unusual angle.
So, before heading to Ribble Head, we first went to Cliviger near Burnley. Some of you will already know the Northern Monkeys, Damien, Chris and Bruce, and their YouTube channel, where they explore coal mines and various other things. If you don't, there'll be a link at the end of this video. Recently, the guys rediscovered a lost 13th century ironstone mine on the hillside above the Cliviger Gorge. We stopped by and had a walk up the hill to look at the location, and also get a grid reference so we have it recorded for the future. More about that on the Monkeys' own video that once again we'll link to at the end.
So, off then to Ribble Head. Unfortunately, the station inn is closed at present, but as you can see, the railway isn't. It's a beautiful area and we had some beautiful weather to go with it, quite unusual for a LAPIS event.
The area around the viaduct is known as Batty Green and is a scheduled ancient monument. Thousands of people lived, worked and died in this small area between 1869 and 1875 during the construction of the viaduct and also Bleemore Tunnel just out of sight to the north. There are several remains to be seen, though at first glance it looks like plain moorland. The floors of the engine shed and one of the huts are easily seen, and the remains of the brickworks can be found too. Many Three Peaks walkers pass over the old tramway track beds without even a second thought. A darker side, as I mentioned, was the number of deaths, estimated at over 100, especially during the smallpox epidemic of 1871. One particular death is that of Job Hurst, the subcontractor for the viaduct. He was returning from Ingleton with the wages when he was robbed and beaten, and although finding his horse and making it back to Batty Green, succumbed to his injuries that night. He's remembered with a fine grave in the churchyard of St Leonard's, Chapel-a-Dale, where you can also see a tablet erected to the memory of those who through accidents lost their lives in constructing the railway works between Settle and Dent Head. I've camped a few times on the edge of Batty Green, and while you certainly feel the presence of the navvies, it surprises me that there aren't more ghost stories associated with this place. So in the afternoon, we went to do a little bit of caving. This is still within a couple of 100 metres of the viaduct, another place that Three Peaks walkers will stroll past without any idea of what's underground. The first one we're looking at is Runscar Cave. It has a total length of 268 metres, of which we did probably about 30 or 40, and then turned around and came out. The exits are crawls in water and crawls in mud, so we passed on that and reversed out. Obviously, because we were down a cave, it was a fantastic day outside with beautiful sunshine, but there were much more exciting things to do underground, wasn't there, Janet?
Well, yeah, this bit was very exciting, or I thought it was anyway. It started off as a hands and knees crawl, when you really need the bump cap for this bit as well. And then it stopped being a hands and knees crawl about then, I think, and just turned into a kind of a wriggle. As you can see, though, I actually was enjoying myself, despite yeah, the obvious problems getting through.
You can see some really nice formations there that have been polished by lots of people sliding over them.
Here you can see us with our heavy packs full of wild camping gear ready to set off.
It's a beautiful climb up Whernside as the sun sets over Ingleborough, and we could even see the other side of Blee Moor with Artengill Viaduct in the setting sunshine. Once we were close to the summit of Whernside, it was time for a cold beer and to watch the sun set over the Lake District Mountains. Then it was time to slip into what became very cold sleeping bags and relax, ready for the night. The night passed.
After a rather chilly night, which we later found was down to -3, we woke up to a beautiful sunrise and bivvy bags with rather a lot of frost on them.
After drinking all the beer the previous night, the rucksacks were much lighter, so we quickly shouldered them and headed off towards the summit of Whernside. Leaving no trace of our evening's campsite, of course. The tarn above Greenset Crags reflecting the beautiful sunshine, and Ingleborough standing out. We finally got to the summit after a couple of 100 yards and toasted that success with a wee nip of whiskey.
For our second night, we camped again on Whernside, but not so high up. We found a nice spot by Forcegill and made camp with our rather basic but effective bivvy bags. It was just as cold overnight, but we were very comfortable. And we had a view of Ingleborough I'd be happy to hang on the wall. But then Ribble Head is one of our favourite places. And finally, on our way home, we stopped off in Bentham to look for an unusual stone monument. As the sign says, tradition holds that this stone was used as a trading point during times of pestilence, when villagers would place coins in the vinegar-filled hole in return for provisions supplied by outlying farmers. The stone itself may have originated as the base of a boundary cross in pre-dissolution days, but its reuse as a plague stone would be circa 1597. It was easy to find, just by the side of Low Bentham Road, just as you come into Low Bentham from the east.
So that's the end of another Lapis Explorers video. Once again, tell us what you did and didn't like about it in the comments, but please give us a thumbs up anyway, just for trying.
Please hit subscribe if you want to see more of us making fools of ourselves. And do please check out Northern Monkeys. There should be a link on screen and in the description.
As always, you can find us online at lapisparanormal.com. That's LAPIS paranormal.com. At Lapis Paranormal on Twitter, and the Lapis Paranormal group page on Facebook. That's Lapis Paranormal group page. Hopefully we'll chat to you soon.